Hey, how's it going? Today I'm going to be talking about cellular networks and what that is. Cellular networks, also known as mobile networks or wireless networks, are a crucial part of modern telecommunications infrastructure. They enable wireless communications between mobile devices such as smartphones, tablets, and Internet of Things devices. The name, this particular name can be better, come on. I mean, I get it, but it could be better. It could be better. I know that everything needs to make sense, but Internet of Things, come on. Internet and everything. Come on. Come on, step it up. And wider telecommunications networks, allowing people to make voice calls, send text messages, and access the internet from virtually anywhere. Let's take a look at some of the examples of cellular networks. Call networks. Cellular networks consist of networks of cell towers or base stations strategically placed throughout the geographical areas. Each cell tower covers a specific area known as cell. Okay, basically what they're saying, there is a map, and based on even perhaps in this particular instance, they're discussing how they've broken apart the map based on the geographical locations. And the entire network is divided into numerous cells. The size and coverage of cells vary depending on the factors like population, well, that's one factor, density, and geography. I understand it slightly. Perhaps I'm not professional at it. I understand slightly. So there are, depending on what kind of problem you're looking to solve, there are some problems that can work better with cell towers, as with many things. So that's just a business. Since I cover business models or I cover different technologies, different technology can solve a particular problem. So based on the problem that you have, this particular technology might be very good at solving one particular problem, but not necessarily all the problems. Other problems might be solved better based on the various factors. What those factors can be based on price, based on what you expected to result to be. Is it densely dense area of population that are looking for internet connection? Would that be perhaps more spread out, and you will not necessarily be able to invest in such infrastructure? That then perhaps cell towers won't be that option that you would go for. But basically, there are a lot of different options in the market that you can choose and pick from, depending on what kind of problem you're looking to solve. Frequency bands. Cellular networks use specific frequency bands, allowing allocated by regulatory authorities, i.e., FCC in the United States. Okay. These frequency bands are divided into channels that can be used for communications, different generation of cellular technology, i.e., 2G, 3G, 4G, and 5G, often use different frequency bands and modulation technologies. Uh, just to give you an idea, right? So if you working for fire services or you are working for overall emergency services, you might be using one frequency. I don't know exactly, but that's my understanding how it works. One frequency based of that frequency, there's systems and standards in place, which is interesting. If I would like to understand more, or do I need surface level knowledge? So it's just let's start with surface level knowledge and let's go deeper, I guess. Mobile devices such as smartphones, tablets, and feature phones have built-in transceivers that allow them to connect to the nearest cell tower. These devices communicate with tower throughout radio waves, allowing users to make calls, send messages, and access data services. Uh, just how cell phones work and operate. handoff, and roaming. As users move from one cell tower to another, the network must seamlessly transfer their connection from one cell tower to another. This process, known as handoff or handover, ensures you need uninterrupted services while on the move. Roaming enables users to access cellular networks outside their home network's coverage areas. Cellular generation. Cellular networks have evolved over years, with each generation offering improvements in speed, capacity, and functionality. The major generations include 2G, second generation introduced digital voice calls and text messaging. That's 2G. Okay, 3G, both faster data speed and the ability to access internet. That's 3G. 4G uh, provided even higher data speed, enabling advanced mobile services and video streaming. Okay, and 5G, fifth generation. I believe to some extent we currently moving and been adapting 5G currently. To the best of my knowledge, and from 5G, most likely we're gonna progress to 6G either way, based on the trend, right? Historical trend 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're currently on 5, and all 5G offers a significantly faster data speeds, lower latency, and supports for emerging technologies like Internet of Things and augmented reality. That's overall 5G. If any of you are interested, perhaps you can do your own research. So that's very broad summary of perhaps all the features that 5G overall can offer, as well as if you're interested in perhaps projections of what 6G gonna be like, and potential for 6G, as well as moving perhaps from cell towers into perhaps space, right? Based on how many lunches there are every day, as well as some of the economies up there, how much they're investing, including some recent changes with the world where we can reuse some of the spaceships up there, as well as how many they could potentially the new networks and everything what they get. Without saying names, I don't want to say company names, but either way, more governments and countries getting involved with overall lifting more trash to space. Recently, I believe I have read the article even this morning that 600 of them got lost out of function. So there, perhaps that would be 6G. That's my understanding, I guess. Going from cell towers, perhaps in world networks, right? Data services. Cellular networks provide data services that enable internet access on mobile devices. By mobile devices, that could be, by definition, that could be any devices that are not necessarily stationary. That could be moving devices. That's a very broad stroke, I guess. So that would be tablets, phones, perhaps in the future. Once we're gonna adapt more Internet of Things approach, so that perhaps would be mobile devices and everything what potentially can be moving, I guess. This can become increasingly important with mobile data usage, so pressing voice calls and text messages from many users. Security. Cellular networks incorporate various security measures to protect user data and communications. Encryption is used to secure voice calls and data transmissions. Subscriber identity models. SIM cards? Oh, okay. Interesting, I never heard that. Are used to authorize and used to authenticate and authorize users. Okay, so SIM cards, so there's a purpose for SIM cards and how currently most of the networks talking to each other. Network architecture. Cellular networks have a hierarchical architecture that includes core network elements such as mobile switching centers, home location registers, and more. These elements help manage call routing, user authentication, and other network functions. Cellular standards. Standards organizations like third generation partnership projects develop and maintain specifications for cellular technologies. These standards ensure interoperability between different network equipment and mobile devices. Future development, the evolution of cellular networks continues, with ongoing efforts to improve 5G networks, expand coverage into rural areas, and develop technologies like network slicing for customized services. Yeah, even Germany have recently invested in its infrastructure to upgrade all the cell towers to 5G. 600 somewhat, or this is how much they have left entirely. I'm not entirely sure, but massive amount of money of upgrade all the network even in Germany to 5G. And it was confirmed about 2 weeks ago about all the upgrading that is going on, as well as even where I'm based currently in UK, there's a government schemes available for those of you who are interested in upgrading your internet. And there are schemes where they potentially refund 50% of overall money that you can use for your business and upgrade into some of the networks, highlighting the fact how important is communication between within the country as well as expanding worldwide. For those of you who would like to learn more, I would highly recommend you purchase this journal. The way how I structure this journal is to focus more on your daily activities and how you can improve those. I structure it around time and potentially time frame that it will require to uh, start and adapt and give reasonable time for you to adapt new habits. That will be every quarter. So around time, quarter, 24 hours, and well, how you can make most of those 24 hours, basically, and go and do those daily activities for a matter of 3 months. Then you can adapt and get to know and learn those new habits. That will be focusing on particular areas. Some of those areas would be what three things to do, as well as personal projects that you perhaps should consider of starting, as well as focusing on areas as expenses, savings, overall income, motivation, dictionary, just to name a few. You can find this in the description below, as well as top retailers. Cellular networks have become an integrated part of modern life, enabling widespread communication and access to digital services. They play a critical role in connecting people and devices, supporting various applications from voice calls, text messaging to internet browsing and Internet of Things connectivity. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next one.